Welcome to making an Agamograph. An Agamograph is an example of optical art mixed with kinetic art. It is optical art because it tries to play a little trick on your eyes, and it is kinetic art because you need to move yourself or the image in order to see what the artist intends you to see. This is a project you can do at home. It takes a lot of construction, so follow along to make your own. What you're going to need is two fully colored, fully rendered 9 by 12 inch images. It can be whatever you want. You'll need a pencil, two markers of different colors, a ruler, a glue stick, a pair of scissors, and of course, a large 12 by 18 inch piece of paper. We'll use this later. Our first step involves the two images. So you'll need your two 9 by 12 inch images. You'll need to flip them over because we need to measure and mark the back. You'll be working in 1 inch increments, so use that 12-inch ruler. You need to make sure that you're working in a vertical orientation, making a little dash mark at each inch. Then, when you have those dash marks made, you'll be drawing a straight line from the top to the bottom of the paper, just like so. Keep your pencil pressure light and it'll make it a lot easier moving forward. Now that we've lined the pages, we need to label and mark the strips. Take those two markers and assign a color to each image. I'll use orange for Daisy and pink for Peach. Taking these markers, I'm going to start with the Princess Peach picture, and I'll use the pink marker to make pink dots at the top of the page. Of course, it is flipped over. It is important not to draw on top of your image. Now that these dots are in place, we need to number these images, not from left to right, but from right to left. So, I'll start with the number 1 on the right-hand side and then move down all the way to 9. It may be a little confusing, but promise, this will help later. I'll double check to make sure the numbers are on the top part of the page on the back. I'm going to repeat this step with Princess Daisy here in a sec. Before moving forward with my two images, we need that 12 by 18 piece of paper. We're going to be working in horizontal orientation, and we are going to be measuring and marking this as well. I have my 18-inch ruler to match the size and width of this piece of paper, but you can be careful and use a 12-inch ruler as well. You're doing the exact same steps that we did earlier in the video. We've labeled and marked the strips of our images, but now we need to label and mark the strips on our 12 by 18. That way we can take those numbers and colors and match them up so our construction is neat and complete and correct. Choose one of the colored markers and you'll be labeling every other strip with a dot of this color. You'll be doing one for one color, labeling 1, 2, 3, 4 underneath each of those dots. You'll do the same with the second color, labeling them with numbers as well. Our 12 by 18 is ready to go. It's all nice and labeled and looks correct. So we'll just put this to the side and get ready for our two images. Our next step is taking the 9 by 12 images and cutting them into strips. Follow along the penciled in line. You can use a paper cutter or a pair of scissors. Please take your time with this step to avoid jagged edges or diagonal edges. Before committing to gluing down your work, I recommend to check your setup. You'll basically be playing a matching game here, matching your pink dot and number to the pink dot and number on your 12 by 18. Take a moment to arrange these to know that you have them in the right order, and gluing will go a lot faster. You don't have to do this step, but it can help for those that are maybe a little bit confused or need to make sure that their work is correct. Now that you've checked your setup, it's time to glue down the strips. You can take your glue stick and put glue directly on the strip, then place it down on the paper, or you can take your glue, put it on the 12x18, then place the strip on top. Either one works, just make sure to keep it nice and neat and line it up with all those different lines to the best of your ability. Before moving on, make sure to let the glue dry. It's going to help our job be a little bit easier later on. Once the glue is dry, it's time for the accordion fold. I lost the footage of me folding this right as it was completely flat, so unfortunately, I'll have to show you it pre-folded, and I'll try to show you that you go back and forth, and then back and forth, sometimes flipping the paper as you go. Accordion fold the entire thing, matching up those lines to the best of your ability to make your Agamograph. Once your Agamograph is complete, you can start tessellating between the two images. My images here have heavy detail, which may make it a little bit difficult to line them up properly, but I wanted to give myself a little bit of a challenge. Either way, you can change these images as many times as you want, but now you know how to make your Agamograph.